Welcome to Wealthy Women's Conversation Podcast, where we celebrate the incredible journeys of everyday amazing women who are building their own path to wealth and financial security on their own terms. I am your host, Trishelle Williams, and I am so thrilled to have you join us today here on Wealthy Women Conversations Podcast. We are all about breaking the mold and rewriting the rules when it comes to creating wealth. Are you an amazing woman that's 40 years old or older who's looking to build financial freedom? Then this is a podcast for you. Our goal each week is to be a beacon of hope and inspiration, no matter your age or money experience level. On this podcast, you will hear from amazing women who have overcome obstacles, defied societal expectations, and created their own version of wealth, success, strength, and resilience. Now, get ready for a heartwarming, relatable, fun, and empowering conversation that will leave you feeling motivated to take action. Together, we'll shatter limitations, challenge conventional thinking, and redefine what it means to be a wealthy woman in today's world. So, let's tune in to today's conversation. Well, welcome back, everyone. I am so excited that we have been getting our weekly episodes in, and today we have another amazing, brilliant, captivating woman who has been doing great and awesome things. Listen, she got a 20-year background, honey. Listen, there is stuff that she has to say. So I want to welcome Dr. Paulette. How are you, Ms. Harper? How are you, Dr. Harper? How are you?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on your platform so I can speak to your audience. I so appreciate you.
I am so thankful that you took the time. I know as co-business owners, our time is like money for sure. So I truly appreciate it that you were taking the time to talk to the amazing Wealthy Women group of ladies. And I know they're going to have all the amazing experience that you are going to be sharing. I like to tell people all the time, I come in contact with amazing women all the time, not because I'm doing anything special other than putting the energy out to say, I think I am awesome and amazing, which means that I am going to bring awesome and amazing women connected to me. And I absolutely do that. And so I am so glad that you are here. Today, we are going to be talking about how an amazing woman who is a single mother that has been able to build an amazing, wealthy life for herself. So go ahead, introduce yourself, girl.
Well, thank you so much. Well, I am Dr. Paulette Harper, and I reside in the beautiful state of Northern California. And I am an entrepreneur and an award-winning author. I have 14 books. And so I have my superpower is being a self-publishing coach to other aspiring authors, coaches, speakers, consultants, professional business women who really want to make an impact with their expertise and their experiences by producing profit selling books. And so I'm a speaker and a minister of the gospel as well. And so for me, it's really about, fulfilling my purpose that God has called me to. And that has really been influential, and then also bringing other women along the journey with me and impacting and making an impact in their lives, whatever that looks like, but making that impact so that they are the best versions of themselves.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Come on now. How many books you said? Stop playing. How many books you said?
So published 14 books. Eight of them, I have a book coming out in next month. That will be my book number eight. And so then the other seven has really been, I do a lot of book collaborations. So I have really been blessed to be able to bring and produce and publish over 120 first time and multi-time authors on the journey of being in my book collaborations that have always been Amazon bestsellers in at least 4 to 9 different categories.
That is amazing. Congratulations. That is not an easy thing to do. How do I know? I got 3 books and
Okay.
I still be like, I thought about it this morning. I was like, I think it's time for me to write a short memoir of this
Okay.
season of my life. And for a quick second, I was like, let's go. And then I was like, girl, wait a minute. Let's sit on down. You got stuff to do.
Reality settles in.
Yes, because it's a real thing and it is
Yeah, it
not
is.
easy. And I know that you put work in your heart and your brain power. There's nothing more than putting your brain on paper. And that's a huge thing. And so we say thank you. We're going to have to, absolutely, we do have a book club. We're going to have to pull one of your books for our book club, honey. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I have well, it depends on what your book club reads, but I
But we
do.
read everything, honey. All the
Okay.
things.
Oh my God. Then I would definitely suggest my Christian fiction novel, Secret Place
Ooh,
Revealed.
yes. We want some. We want some. So one of the things, Dr. Paulette, that I tell people is that the reason for me starting the podcast wasn't to sprout out, give out a whole bunch of things that you hear people talking about all the time. It was really about me being able to do the thing that I don't know if you read Michelle Obama's recent book, but her recent book talks about the kitchen table and having kitchen table conversations. And that is what I wanted this to be when I decided to do a podcast. I actually started to try to do a podcast before, and I was like, I think I'm a little too angry to do it. I should probably heal a little bit before I go
Okay.
out here and do anything before all that go out there that I'm out here trauma scratching people, you know. And so I just paused and I sat still and then this came. But it really was triggered from me reading Michelle Obama's book. And she has a whole section about the kitchen table and sitting around and women sitting around the table and really having conversations about life and things. And that's what this means to me. It's the ability to have one-on-one conversations with amazing women. And you definitely fall in that category. And just have conversations about the things that they have experienced and the wealth that they have reached for, struggled to get, overcame and received, things you didn't still receive yet and you're waiting for. And that's the thing that I want us to talk about, because I believe in our stories, we end up helping others keep going. I really, truly believe so. And so that being said, we're going to start it off. I got 5 questions for you, and they are some yummy good goods. And I know you'll do just fine as we go through them. But I want you to think about the moment or the time when you realize the importance of building financial success or your money journey started.
Yeah, that's a great question. And for me, it was when I was going through a divorce.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was, during that time, I was still working my 9 to 5, which I was really glad that I had a 9 to 5 to, fall back on going through that. But I realized that I needed other streams of income to supplement what I was receiving. When you go to have a 9 to 5, it kind of limits you and hinders what you're passionate, what your passion really could be about, and how you can really fulfill your passion because you're doing, a 9 to 5. And so for me, it was really finding my voice, finding the power that I had going through that divorce, and how could I monetize my story, and how could I build wealth from my own pain. And that's really where it started.
Yes. Yes. I absolutely get that. And I tell people all the time, there's typically some tipping point that get us there. And typically it's a pain point. Not that we want it to be that way, but it's typically a pain point. My pain point was my sister getting extremely sick and was not able to really do anything. She wasn't able to do anything. She couldn't walk. She couldn't feed herself. She couldn't wipe herself. She couldn't go to the bathroom. And when we chimed in to try to get the support for her and her husband and her daughter, it was close to $30,000 because I'm from California too, girl. I'm from LA.
Okay.
So just
Okay.
FYI, I was like,
Okay.
listen, come on, Bay Area. Yes. So that pain point can definitely get us in a space where we really understand its importance.
Yeah.
Before that pain point, we know it's important. We know we need the financial space in order to
Mhm.
live the life, but there's always something that gets our attention and makes us to
Yeah.
say, can we do more? What is it that
Yeah.
we need to do to change?
Yeah. I totally agree with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the second question is, what are some or what was the biggest challenge or obstacle that you faced on your journey? And how did you overcome it? Was there anything that sticks out to you? Because I know as an entrepreneur, we have ongoing ups and downs and going through things to get us to the place we want to be. But was there anything that stuck out for you?
Yeah, I think when I first started being an entrepreneur, that was when I wrote my first book. I didn't know what I just wanted to write a book, you
I
know,
got you.
and so and that's really what really launched me into, being an entrepreneur. But I think for me back then, if I had a mentor or even a coach,
Mhm.
a business coach that would have, kind of helped me create a blueprint of the journey that I was about to take, because I
Yeah.
found that, it was more for me than just writing a book. When I wrote my book, other people began to come and ask me, can you show us what you do? Can you show us how
Yes.
to write stories, And that really launched me. But I think if I had someone back then to say, girl, you'll be an entrepreneur, you can do this, 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 and this, it would have really put me on a trajectory where I knew this, where I was headed, where I was going,
Yes.
and, I don't think I would have changed anything, but having someone there to just kind of prod me and give me counsel and tell me these are the next step you need to take. I think back then that would have been a real tremendous blessing for me to have that.
Absolutely. I totally understand that from every fiber in my body says absolutely. Because there are so many challenges that you don't even know that you need to prepare for and things that you are not aware of. You think I have an amazing idea, you have amazing desires and you get going and then there's just so many things that you find yourself bumping into that you just didn't know that that was going to be a thing. And if I would have known, but we learn and we grow and then we can coach others to be able to do it better and do it differently. It's definitely been one of those things. So I understand. So how do you define success and wealth and how has that definition evolved over time?
How do I define success and wealth? So for me, success really is achieving whatever goals that I have, and
Mm-hmm.
really, and once, I have a plan and I have a purpose for doing something, and then figuring out how am I going to achieve that goal. And once I achieve that goal, then for me, that's success. Because I've accomplished something that was absolutely nothing, but it became something through the
Yes.
process. Okay.
Yes.
And so for me, wealth is having being having, of course, streams of income that supports my lifestyle, but also being comfortable where I am financially, that all my needs are met, all my bills are paid. I have plenty to store and that I have enough to give and bless other people with. For me, that's wealth.
That's awesome. So the level of comfort and the ability to cover all
Yeah.
is an amazing thing. And I think it's interesting that sometimes we will have people who, well, different people will have different definitions of wealth, but
Yeah.
the generic space of wealth, people just really think it's, I just need millions of dollars, as if that's
Hmm.
the only
Hmm.
thing. And the
Yeah.
reality of it is that's not really truth. You know,
Yeah.
it's having millions of dollars. It gives you, you get access to the dollar amount. But if you don't know what you're using it for,
Correct.
it becomes a whole nother ball game. And so it's like, no, what is it you need? I've had clients who have said, I just want to have money. And I'm like, but money is, it's by itself is nothing. Money
Hmm.
with a purpose is what is very much more. And so what is it that you want the money for? And when you can
Yeah.
define that, then you can really put some dollars and cents amounts to it. One of the young ladies used to say, Trishelle, how do you have a housekeeper? How do you have a housekeeper? I said, because for years I was saying, I declare I'm going to have a housekeeper. I declare I'm going to have. And one day I was like, well, how much does a housekeeper cost? You know? And
Okay.
really, I didn't know. I thought it
Yeah.
was something massive. And once I
Yeah.
realized what it was, I was like, oh, I can get a housekeeper now. You know,
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
been working towards the goal, but it didn't matter that I've been declaring a thing,
Yeah.
because in reality, I had not said what I, looked up to even see what it costs to be able to
Yeah.
make the connection, you know.
Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah, so I just was like, okay, let's see what we're gonna do. And so, how has your definition of success and wealth evolved, or has it?
Yeah, yeah, it definitely has. For me, it was, you know, it started with that, with that one book. And then it progressed and evolved over the years as people began to tell me what they needed from me when it came to storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
So, seeing needs that they have, and then it being the conduit to fill those needs, to be the solution for them. And so, what started out as one book went to a workshop, went to a one-on-one, one-on-one coaching, went to creating different types of programs for different levels of people, and then, having an online course, and then creating a VIP offer. So I've been, in every stage of it has been able to provide me with streams of income, and then also, with my book collaborations. And so I have these tiers that I have been able to create when it comes to book writing, that those who want to, write a book, they can fit in any one of these tiers, depending on their income, depending on, their time factor, depending on how much they want to invest in themselves, and then really depending on the results that they're looking for. And so over the years, I've been able to do this, and I've been really blessed to be able to provide, these kind of services and meet the needs of my audience.
Yeah. How long did it take you to get from I'm writing the book to having an actual tiered based option, or offer?
Oh my God, it evolves over years. So I wrote my first book, like, oh my God, my first book was written in 2009 or 2010, something like that. And
Okay.
so, I have been evolving since then. And so I
Yes.
think,
Yes.
probably around 2012, I started thinking about coaching, and I
Mhm.
got really serious about what that meant, but that back then I had a different scale when it came to pricing as well. And so,
Yes.
as
Yes.
an entrepreneur, you evolve with your programs, you evolve with your services, and then you also evolve with the pricing scale as well. And so, it took me a while to just get to where I am right now, but I'm at a space where what I offer, I know that there's people that fit that tier, that criteria. And so, I think with entrepreneurs, our focus, whatever we're called to do, whatever services that we have, you learn that, okay, if that didn't work, I don't need to do it like that. I can pivot. I'm real good at that. I can
Absolutely.
pivot. Okay. And
Yes.
I can make
Yes.
adjustments. I'm not really stuck on one particular way. It is really about how can I change something in my business that is going to meet the needs of my audience, but also going to bring me some income.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. And I think that that's so important for us to for us to share and also help others to understand because uh, look, people be peopling, but when they people many times in their peopling, they will assume that someone has not been spending, it's been years or
Mhm.
it's been countless versions of or
Mhm.
iterations of their programs, of their offers, of their pricing scales, of all of those things as they grow and as the person learns. And all of those things are definitely attached to self-development and
Yeah.
self-awareness and skill and all of the things that is so very important that allows us to grow to be better versions of ourselves. And so I love that. I love that there have been some evolving that happens and that because you have watched your own self evolve, and I'm sure many of your clients, you're able to better help others that to go deeper and to have more expansive value as they continue to grow in their wealthy space. So that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, and I think too, you add to that, as you grow, your education, how you grow emotionally, how you grow as an entrepreneur. It's courses you take. It's books you read. It's programs that you connect with and you take to really enhance who you are as an entrepreneur. And those skill sets, they increase your bottom line because as you grow and as be involved in other programs that's really going to help you be a better entrepreneur and be better at servicing your people, you're just going to pass that on to your audience. You're just going to pass that on to the people that you serve, and so they're going to get a better version of me as I make myself a better version of me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. And our last question, I see how fast that went. That went so
I
fast, girl.
know.
We getting it through, getting it in. It's the last question is what advice or words of wisdom would you give a woman who is starting out for building their wealth for the very first time? They are new, they may be afraid, they may be unsure of themselves. What would you tell them? What words of advice or wisdom would you give them on starting their journey?
Yeah, words of wisdom. I would definitely say own your genius.
I
There
love it.
is, there is nobody like you. There is no service like the one you're going to bring. Your audience is going to be different. I don't care if somebody has a product that's similar to yours. It's not your blueprint. It's not your flavor. And so I think when we own our genius and own our own brilliance and then model that to other people and build our own brand. And I think once we get that, then we're not so intimidated when we see other people. We're not, we're not, we don't have imposter syndrome. We're not dealing with that
Mhm.
as well. We're not
Mhm.
looking at the competition like that.
Yes,
When we just walk in our own truth and we walk in who we are, who God created us to be, and we own our own brilliance and own our own genius. I think when we have that kind of mindset that we're able to do and conquer anything that this entrepreneur space, will throw at us, but it's really just owning who you are and then walking in that.
absolutely. I love that advice. Because I would have to tell you the level of me like, there's a whole lot of people out there that's doing X, Y, and Z. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, what does that have to do with the tea in China, honey? You gotta keep going and do what is you're called to do because
Yeah.
who you are will allow for you to grow it in your own space.
Yeah.
I know that was our last question. I would, my only thing I wanted to additionally ask is what, I have done quite a few podcasts and I've been interviewed on podcasts. And one of the things that I have learned is that typically people have a particular message or they have something that is on their heart they want to share. But the person who's interviewing them don't know that. They don't know that that's on their heart. And so they end up not being able to share it because we're just unaware. And so I always like to throw the bonus thought out of what is if you could create your own question and answer your own question, or if you wanted to share a particular thing, what would that thing be that you would want to make sure that you were able to share in this space, in this time, in this season?
Yeah, so I have this motto, my messy story is my best story.
Ooh.
And and so I came up with that motto. I'm a survivor of emotional trauma, and so learning how to really take my story as bad as it was, as devastating as it was of going through a divorce, to really see how God could really change the narrative for me, and allowing Him to change that narrative. And so I really found that, over the years of writing that, my first book, that it really became my best story of my life. It really, really did, because that's my springboard. When I'm doing podcasts or being on other shows, that's my signature story, and that's what I talk about, and that's really what has gotten me to be where I am right now, where I'm owning my genius.
Yes, I love that. Say that one more time so we can write that down. Your messy story is your best story. Is that what it is?
Yeah, my messy story is my best story.
I love that. And any ladies that are out there thinking that you have too much happening in your life right now, and it is not possible for you to get to the space of the desired life that you want, the desired life that you know you deserve. Just know your messy story is actually can be your best story. And Dr. Paulette is an example of how greatness can show up and have a wealthy, successful life on your own terms, right?
Yeah.
And I just really, really appreciate that. Just know that it is definitely possible, and where you are today does not necessarily have to be where you are tomorrow. The space of developing and growing in a wealth journey, I really, really want people to understand that it is a process. It is a growth process. I got one quick question.
Yeah.
Listen, what? I don't know. I don't know if in 20, because like 20, you said 2010 approximately was your first book.
I wrote
Did
my first book in about 2008, 2009.
Okay, got it. All right. So 2009. Okay. So at that time, did you set a financial goal at that time?
No. No, I mean, I wasn't even in that mindset. I mean, back
Got you.
then I wasn't even thinking about, oh man, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I wasn't even in that space.
Yes.
I was just, I just wrote a book because I was nudged by the Holy Spirit to write a book, and that was all that I wanted to do.
Got
And
it.
so and that's a great question. Now of course, you put your financial goals together and whatnot. But back then, I was just writing a book. I wasn't even in that kind of framework, that mind frame. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great question to ask.
And I think it's awesome that you're so honest and transparent about that, because I think many of the women that are listening to this actual podcast, the replay of it, all of the things of it, they are thinking they have to have everything in order to
Oh my
get
goodness.
started.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, no. You don't. I think you just start right where you are. And over the course of time, you will begin to grow and see what you need in your business, and not compare your business with nobody else's business. Okay.
Hmm.
And you will begin to grow and right where you are. But it's really just about starting.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell women all the time. I do a free master class that is for them to invest, and in the master class, I tell them, listen, you can start investing with $5.
Mm-hmm.
You can start in your financial. You for people who say, I would love to have real estate. I would love to be a real estate investor, but I don't have the credit. I don't have the disposable income. You really can start invested in real estate with $25. And a lot of people don't know that. They don't, you know. And so they end up finding themselves waiting and waiting and waiting. And they're wondering why others around them are able to do it because they know something you don't know. And to start is one of the most amazing things. I would have to say, when I started this podcast, honey, listen, it's a whole hot mess. I was just like, oh, we got all the things, girl. I told my one of my best friends, I was like, I ghetto rigged the thing to put the thing over there. And my husband was looking like, what are you doing? I was like, because I don't know how to do it. And they were like, wait a minute. And I was just like, listen, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to figure it out, but we gonna work it out, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, with all of the rigging things to putting things together to turn around and then click a button, and then they were like, well, all you have to do is just click this button right here. And I was like, that's all I needed to do was click but honey, I had a whole, you couldn't tell me with tape and all the things connected to the thing girl, listen. And I tell people that all the time. They'll look up and be like, but Trishelle, you're doing this. Honey, today I'm doing this. But yesterday I wasn't.
Yeah. That's what people don't see our beginnings, you know. They just see an end product because we done made it, we done, you know, went through and removed all the stuff that didn't work. We've made adjustments. We took things out, and they don't see that, you know. They don't see the building of it, you know. They see the end product where we have, you know, we just show up, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I do truly appreciate you, Dr. Paulette, for showing up and being present and being willing to share your amazing brilliance, and your success story is just amazing. So many women who look like you and me need to know that it is possible, no matter their age, no matter their experience or past, that they too can find what will work for them. They can try something, and it is okay if it don't work the first time. Let's try it again, you know. And I think us showing up and being authentic and being real and telling them like it is, being at the kitchen table, there is no need to put on any airs. It is just what it is. And they can go out and they can do great things. They can start amazing businesses. They can invest in and have stock in real estate if they choose to, and they can create legacies that they wish they would have had when they were growing up. And I just think it's possible if we would just share it and also be inclusive with the information. And I'm so thankful that you were.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. And I agree with, you know, all that you have said. It's about being, you know, vulnerable and transparent. You know, I don't mind sharing with other, you know, women that look like me, the journey of being an entrepreneur. You know, there's things that, you know, I failed at, you know, but I kept going. You know,
Absolutely.
because there was a purpose for why I was doing what I was doing. There was a goal that I had set for myself, and to just, you know, be able to pour into other women and teach them what I know, that's been a tremendous, that's powerful for me.
Absolutely. Well, I say thank you so much. I really appreciate having a conversation with you. You have definitely made me smile, made me want to keep going. I mean, hey, 20 years of it. Listen, honey, I am like, yes, let's go. I am so excited about it because I know that when there's a road that is paved, that means that more of us can travel on it to get the success that we desire. And so I am so thankful that we are able to redefine what it means to be wealthy in our world today, and that we are able to set the standard for ourselves, asking ourselves, what is it that we really desire? What is it that we really, really want our lives to look like? What legacy we would love to leave for those who are connected to us? And so with that, I say thank you so much. I appreciate it. And to all you ladies that are listening, join us again for another episode. And until then, I will see you on the wealthy side. You all be blessed. And thank you, Dr. Paulette. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Wealthy Women Conversation Podcast. We hope you found inspiration and wisdom as we sat at the table to grow and learn with our amazing guest who has paved the way for her own financial freedom. Remember, you hold the power to create your own version of wealth, success, and fulfillment. No matter where you are on your journey, it's never too late to take control of your financial future. Keep seeking knowledge, exploring opportunities, and embracing your unique strengths. Together, we're challenging the norms, shattering limitations, and redefining what it means to be a wealthy woman in today's world. Join us for future episodes as we share captivating stories, insightful advice, and practical strategies to support our wealthy journey together. If you enjoyed this podcast, please don't hesitate to return next week, where there will be another amazing, brilliant, and absolutely captivating guest to speak on what it takes to build your own path to wealth and success. Thank you for tuning in to the Wealthy Women Conversations Podcast. Stay focused, determined, and strive for the wealthy life you desire. Until next time, I'll see you on the wealthy side.